The Tigers opened up their home lacrosse schedule this past Saturday. The Tiger Lacrosse Report, brought to you by the Green Turtle, starts now. Welcome, Tiger fans, to another edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report. I'm your host, Spiro Marikas, along with the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin. And, Coach, when you talk about Mount St. Mary's, people generally don't think lacrosse, but this was a school that last year played very well in their conference and came very close to making it to the NCAA tournament. And I know you knew this was a quality lacrosse team coming into Johnny Unitas Stadium this past Saturday.
They were. They had a lot of guys coming back, a team that throws some different wrinkles at you, some pressure sometimes defensively, some different type of offenses. So we knew they'd be a confident group coming in, even though they lost the weekend before. A very strong face-off guy, which always gives a team some confidence. So they're a team they had some really good experience on their team, and obviously it showed.
They had dominated Delaware in week one from the face-off with Stefan, and he obviously came in and did a very good job against you guys early on in that ball game on Saturday.
He did, and that was an area of concern for us, and obviously it transpired in that first quarter where we rolled through Jack McNallen and Joey Chestnut, kind of our first two options, and found some rhythm and some fight with our freshman, Shane Santora, and did a good job coming in, being able to compete for 50-50 balls, get the ball in play a little bit more towards our favor. So I was pleased to see that kind of spark, and I think it helped our guys, and obviously an area that we got to continue to work at.
You had a couple of guys play this week that did not play in week one in Grant Maloof and Austin Stewart. Is there still a learning curve going on there with all the guys mixing them in when you have two new guys on the midfield that didn't play in week one?
There is. It's not just at the midfield, it's the offense as a whole, with the attack. Last week against Hopkins, we ran Luke Frommert out of the box more as a midi. This week we pushed Luke back to attack through James Avanzato through our first midfield. So again, getting those guys to play in a little bit different role. Plus you get Grant and Austin out there, and with John and Brody and everybody, continuing to build that chemistry. So it's definitely a little bit of a learning curve, but that's what we invest so much time in practice for.
The other thing that kind of hurt was that Tyler Canto giving up 11 goals in the ball game and just 4 saves. Was it all him? Was it partially the defense in front of him? A combination of both?
Definitely a combination. You factor in, obviously they had the advantage on the face-off, just by the numbers you saw that, so they kind of had some advantage there. With possessions, Tyler would admit it wasn't his best day, and I appreciate his honesty and owning that part of it. But also, we didn't do a great job in front of him. We did well. I mean, the first 2 possessions, they get shot clock violations. I think they had 10 shot clock violations during the course of the game.
Have you ever seen that many in a game?
Not that I can remember. And again, that was a piece that I talked to our team about. It's like, look, we played well, right? We played well. We played good enough defense that they really couldn't, even though I think they were willing to stretch out some possessions and try to, stretch the clock out. That's fine, but you still got to play defense in those moments. You can't just sit back and think that they're going to just spin the ball around. You actually got to play good defense, which fortunately we did, and caused 10 violations for them. But we also didn't help when we needed to, when guys were getting down the alleys or some inside rolls, and they were putting shots on cage. Tyler wasn't seeing the ball great, and we weren't supporting to make their shots more challenged.
You made a change in the fourth quarter. When do you make that change, and is it something that you're hesitant to do?
It depends as in regards to the hesitancy piece. Kind of where you feel like that position is at that point. We're talking goalie specific here. If there's a close battle, in practice, and you feel like two guys are worthy of playing and starting, then you might be more willing to make a change earlier on than you have, feeling confident in that other guy. And it wasn't that I wasn't confident in Jake or Evan, either one that we wanted to put in. It was just Tyler has done such a good job, in the past, all last year, done a really good job. Kind of giving him a little bit more benefit of the doubt, coming out at halftime especially, see if he could kind of right the ship. And, we just never could really get on track there. And obviously the third quarter, they stretched it, got a 3-goal lead there. But we just knew going into the fourth, it's like we had to make a change, whether it was going to be good for us in the cage or not, but maybe add a spark. And then Jake came in and did a great job.
So the Tigers will try to bounce back this week, and it's not getting any easier, as the number 11th ranked Big Red from Cornell will come to Johnny Unitas Stadium this Friday at 4 o'clock. We'll talk about that on a later edition of the Tiger Lacrosse Report right here on TowsonTigers.com. So for the head coach of the Tigers, Sean Nadlin, I'm Spiro Marikas. Thanks for tuning in, and as always, go Tigers.